my client, Jenna. She was able to lose over 130 pounds, about 140 actually, and keep it off. The beautiful thing about this is she's been able to keep this off for about 10 years. And so when I talk about sustainable long-term fat loss, this is exactly what I mean. But here's what you need to know about Jenna before she made this incredible life-changing transformation. First, she had always struggled with her weight. It was something from when she was a child that, she was never super self-conscious about it, but she always wanted a little bit more. It never really affected her personality. She's always been, happy, gregarious, and outgoing, all of these wonderful things, but she felt like something was missing. Now, when you factor in though, she was a mother, she had a busy career, she worked in marketing and PR and was always entertaining clients. It was very difficult for her to be able to make long-term change while still doing the things that she needed with her career. She was constantly entertaining clients and the life of the party, but it makes it very difficult sometimes to lose weight in a way that's practical and sustainable. You name it, she tried it. Atkins diet, low carb diet, high carb diet, track your macros, meal planning, all of these different things. And when it came to workouts, Orange Theory, yoga, Pilates, quite literally all of it. And so when she was referred to me from another client that was making another transformation, we took things with a different approach. First and foremost, if we want to be able to lose weight and keep it off sustainably, we have to address some of the root causes and habits that have led to weight gain in the first place. And so with Jenna, we focused specifically on changing one small habit at a time. So step by step, pound by pound, she was able to lose that weight over the course of 15 months. Some months it was fast, some months it was slow. But really what it came down to is doing basic things consistently over time with the right systems, with the right accountability, and having it handcrafted directly to her and her lifestyle. And so when it came to the workouts, we focused on some strategic strength training. In the beginning, we started with some very simple, straightforward things. When we challenged her muscles to grow instead of just trying to burn calories, she was able to increase metabolic function and actually build some lean muscle while she was losing body fat. This meant she was burning more calories the other 23 hours of the day, even when she wasn't in the gym. When it came to her nutrition, we focused on changing one meal at a time. It wasn't going from 0 to 100 and changing everything all at once, because that often overloads our body and it becomes unsustainable. That's why so many people can do really well in a diet for 4 to 6 weeks, and then they always backslide after that. And one of the most important elements that we focused on here was actually making room for her social life. Again, she was always entertaining clients. She was out at restaurants. She would have a couple drinks. So it went from making things like, hey, maybe we don't have a margarita to we have what's called a NorCal margarita, where we reduce the sugar dramatically. Or maybe instead of having a daiquiri, we're having a vodka soda. It's not that we have to completely eliminate alcohol or the foods that we enjoy, but we have to make smarter decisions around them. And by extension, we can still have some of the social things in our life and be able to lose weight sustainably. Ultimately, if your nutrition is not sustainable, the results that you get from any plan, they're not going to be maintainable. So it's better to build a plan that improves your life versus the one that consumes it, so you can actually stick with it over the long haul. Now, by extension of her losing this weight, she's been able to sustainably keep that weight off while enjoying her social life, while building her career, while setting a great example as a wife and as a mother. And I'm so incredibly proud of the results that she has gotten directly from our coaching. Awesome to note that she was featured in Women's Health, Bravo, and started her own website, Closer Every Day, which has inspired thousands of people on their own transformational journey. You see, when we can make a change with our body, it's not just about how we change physically in the mirror, it's how we change internally. And by extension of showing up as a better version of ourselves, somebody who's more in alignment with the person we want to be, we can impact so many people, not just by the example that we set, but by inspiring others to be able to make that change. Now, let me break down some of the specifics that we focused on and how we can do the same thing for you. And so we go through a step-by-step process when working with all of our clients. And number one is we have to improve internal health and jumpstart fat loss. A lot of people want to tone up and or build muscle / lose body fat at the same time. But if we straddle too many things at once, we send our body conflicting signals. And so what we focus on is, yes, we train hard. So by extension, you can build and maintain some lean muscle, but we want to make sure we're in that calorie deficit. So by extension of that, we can lose body fat. Because once you're leaner, your body can actually more effectively break down the food that you'll need to build that lean muscle, to build those curves, all of those different components, but do so without gaining body fat. So number one, let's get leaner. Number two, what we focus on is not crash dieting. And this is what we call our metabolic priming method, right? We can focus on a calorie deficit for a while, but over time, what we need to do is we need to occasionally bring calories up and then back down. Otherwise, your metabolism can actually downregulate. You burn fewer calories for the same amount of exercise, run into issues with things like your thyroid, and that's when people diet hard, eat at a calorie deficit for months or years, and wonder why they're not losing weight, because they've actually cooled the body down and it's no longer effectively burning as many calories as they think it is. Your metabolism is not something that's stagnant. 2,000 calories being a deficit won't always be a deficit for you, particularly if you're eating directly below that for a long period of time. Your body's going to adapt because it's trying to keep you healthy. It's trying to, keep basic bodily functions at a high level. The third phase that we focus on is then making sure we're getting stronger. When you're getting stronger and building that lean tissue, that's what supports long-term metabolic health. It's what supports bone health, joint health, all of those things directly. But we have to do it intelligently. And if we start to increase those calories, we have to do it slowly so you build lean muscle, not add more body fat. And then phase 4, the most important aspect here is long-term sustainable habit change. If we don't change the underlying habits that are leading people to get out of shape, then what happens? Well, they backslide. And that's why over 90% of people who lose even 10% of their body weight think somebody losing 20 pounds if they weigh 200 pounds. That's why they backslide, because they don't change the underlying habits. And that's particularly what we focus on with our coaching. Now, some of the key elements that we focus on here directly and getting a little bit more granular is what we call synergy, right? We need to have the right balance between the way that you work out with your training, your nutrition, and then your lifestyle and accountability. You can have the perfect nutrition plan, but if you're not training correctly, it's not going to work. You can have the perfect nutrition plan and training plan, but if you're inconsistent because you don't have accountability, also, it's not going to work. And same thing, you could be training perfectly and doing it really consistently, but if your nutrition isn't in alignment with your goals or what your metabolic and hormone function really needs, then you are going to run into issues. And so we eliminate the guesswork by taking care of all of those elements together. So you have a program that's built on data and science and your body, not just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. And so what we focus on the training side is strategic strength training. No, it's not burning as many calories as possible. It's about building a handcrafted program where your workouts actually support optimal health and build that lean muscle so you can improve your metabolism and keep weight off sustainably. We eliminate all the guesswork across the board on what you need to do. Consider me, consider my team, your personal trainer in your pocket. Number 2, the metabolic reboot nutrition system. First, we want to get you leaner. We want to get you healthier. When that internal health is improved by highlighting exactly when to eat and limiting that guesswork, then your body's going to be able to function so much more effectively across the board. Ultimately, a huge belief that we teach and that we really instill across the board is if your nutrition is not sustainable, your results will not be maintainable. So we have to fit these things into your life directly. As a personal example, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I like to have ice cream dates with my daughter on Wednesday. We do pizza night on Friday and typically a date one day on weekends, right? So I can fit in things like pizza, tacos, steak, alcohol, ice cream. These can all be part of a healthy lifestyle, but we have to have a plan and a strategy for doing them most effectively. And then, of course, as I was talking about with the synergy before, it's how do we integrate all of these components, right? If more information was the answer, and we can find so much information on social media these days, then we'd all have six-packs and Ferraris by now. But the reality is what we need is we need the right information at the right time. We need something that really flows with our life, not against it. Because when we do get healthier, when we get leaner, when we get more confident, fitness is something that is a force multiplier in everything else in our life. When we're more confident, we show up better in our relationships. When we're more confident and have more energy, we show up better as a parent. We show up with better brain function at work. And so this isn't just about how we look in the mirror and looking great naked, even though that's obviously important and is catchy. It's about how does getting healthier, how does getting more fit improve everything else in your life. And that's really the key element that we focus on. And to make this as specific for you as we can, we focus on data. And when I talk about things being truly handcrafted, we incorporate things like blood work, lab work, looking at the data in terms of body weight, nutrition, all of these different things so you don't have to. Right? When we have clear-cut data, we can make decisions based on data, not based on feelings. And when we do that, that helps us find the true root cause that might be preventing you from having the body that you want and building the sustainable habits and the lifestyle that you need in order to keep it. And so we support you each and every single day, each and every single week with education, with calls, with access, with check-ins, all of these things that you need in order to succeed. You might be wondering, hey, I've probably tried some different things before. Maybe they haven't worked. I totally understand that. Personally, I've been a coach since 2009. I've been online online since 2012. And we focus on not just helping our clients get results now, but understanding why, understanding how, understanding the key principles so they can take this information and get sustainable long-term progress, because that's what it's all about. But because of that, we also fully guarantee what we do. You see, if you show up, if you do the work, the workouts, the nutrition, you're doing the accountability and checking in, we expect it to work. And if it's not, well, you deserve to have that protection and to be able to get your money back. And so we have a full money back guarantee. So if you do the work and you do not get results, you do not pay. Who do we serve? Who works with us? We have a ton of wonderful clients, people who are generally parents, who are high performers, who, have been in shape before. Some have never been in shape. What we want to do is help educate you so you have the tools and the strategies needed to be able to create a permanent transformation. We're here to eliminate the guesswork. We're here to get rid of some of the bullshit that's out there and give you a clear-cut plan to execute. So you walk into the gym each and every single day and you know what to do. You know that when you put that effort in the gym, you can be confident in the plan, that your body's going to be taken care of, that your health is going to be improving. And we're here to guide you every step of the way when life gets complicated and sometimes it gets harder. Because when those hard times come up, that's when we build the skill set that we need in order to create that permanent long-term transformation. So if this seems like something that would be a great fit for you, what I would recommend is pulling up your phone right now and scanning this QR code. That's going to take you to an application for our coaching. And the one thing I will say here is, if you made it through this video, this is obviously hitting home for you. You've probably tried things that haven't worked, right? And you might be wondering, is this going to be something different? Is this going to be something that works for me? Well, guess what? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it and let's break down these strategies one by one and make sure that our Look Great Naked protocol is here to help you permanently transform your life. Ultimately, if nothing changes, and you might be wondering about things like cost, which we'll cover on a call, but one thing I will tell you, there is a cost to staying the same. There's time. There's wasted money on things that haven't worked, that don't come with a guarantee, and there's a headspace of trying over and over again and not getting the results that you should for as hard as you're working. And it's time to end that. It's time for you to get the body that you need and find the long-term sustainable approach where you can look great naked and sustainably do so without living in the gym or obsessing over food. All right, I will see you soon. Please check out that QR code. And if you have any questions, drop them below.